Hello, everybody. I'm Paul Ryden. When I was 8 years old, I wrote an essay called The Airplane. It was concise and to the point, had very short Hemingway-like sentences, and it ended with this line: It works by bringing people places. Sometimes it hinders people by crashing. Now, who knew that one day I'd actually be a writer? Well, our guest today, Wendy Negley, began writing even earlier than I did. She was 4 years old when she started writing poetry, but didn't get it published until 2021. Now, the work we're talking about today is Heed the Heart, a collection of poetry from the very talented Wendy Negley. Welcome, Wendy, from Clearwater, Florida. How are you today?
Hi, Paul. Just fine.
Good. What took you so long to get your poems published so the rest of us can enjoy them?
Well, probably just a lack of belief in myself and nobody else telling me I should do it. But when my current husband told me I should publish, then I thought, oh, I guess I should.
Well, that's interesting that your husband told you to do that because you did that to your first husband before he passed away, Dennis, to get
Mhm.
him to publish his stuff, right?
Right, right. Yeah, he didn't know that I published that book, but I'm sure he would have been happy about it.
Oh, I'm sure
But,
he would have.
after he died, I found all these things he's written, and I realized all his friends would really want to read those.
Yeah.
So I edited it and published it.
Okay, we're going to come back to his book in a second, but first I
Okay.
want to talk about Heed the Heart. It's a book of poetry about love, death, and other stuff. That's
Right.
quite a broad range.
The broad range. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what is your writing process like, and what do you enjoy writing about most? Love, death, or other stuff?
Probably love.
Yeah.
I enjoy the most. My writing process, it's kind of, I'll get an idea, and if I'm home, I'll walk around the house thinking about it, and the poem will start going through my head.
Hmm.
And then at some point, I'll sit down and write it out.
So,
But I've also written on an airplane, writing in the car,
yeah.
and have an idea, and I've used the notes app on my phone to
Right.
write it.
Yes, please don't be typing on your laptop while you're
No,
driving. That wouldn't be cool.
no, no.
Well, good. How did you manage to find themes that were both personal to you and universally relatable to the rest of us? Is it just things that
Well,
pop in
I don't
your
know
head?
that pretty much. I mean, okay, let me just tell you my story.
Sure.
Um, I mean, I was married to Dennis in 1974, and we had a great marriage and kids and so on. And then I inadvertently fell in love with a coworker where I was working. And we spent about 6 weeks just kissing each other, nothing else. And
Mhm.
then I told him, okay, I can't do anything more because I don't want to have an affair. I don't want to divorce my husband.
Yeah, right.
And so he said, fine. And then not too long after that, he left. And I didn't know where he was. I didn't hear from him or know where he was for like 17 years.
Wow.
And yeah, yeah. So I tried to unfall in love, which I couldn't do, but I tried to suppress it and forget about it and so on. But, um, when things would come up, I would write poetry about him or about our relationship or whatever. And I didn't show it to anybody. I didn't talk about him to anybody, but I felt better when I did that. And then, 29 years later, we got together because my husband died.
Mhm.
And Bill and I got together, and he said he wanted to marry me, and he had waited for me. It was amazing.
Wow.
And I showed him the poems I'd written. And I thought, okay, this is either going to kill this romance or not, or whatever. But he liked them, and he said I should publish them. I said, really, even though they're about you? And he said, yeah, yeah. So just don't put my full name. But so I did, and then I wrote more, and I published another book, and I wrote more, and I published another book.
But now Dennis enjoyed the poems you were writing, but he didn't know they're about another guy?
He never read those poems.
Oh.
There's some poems in the book that I wrote for Dennis, and he read those,
Hmm.
but most of the poems he never read.
Hmm. Okay, so he encouraged you to write your book, but you also encouraged him to write one, as we mentioned, that was Spirit Walk, The Wit and Wisdom of Dennis Negley. Now, Dennis said his target audience was the 7 billion people who lived on Earth. And I thought that was a pretty good answer. Who is your audience for Heed the Heart?
Well, I haven't really defined it, but I think it is mostly people that want to read poems about love or or life, or want, would like a another take on things, or another another viewpoint on
Mhm.
life.
Well, now, you going back to your writing process here, when you write, so you're just simply moved by thoughts that come into your, do you keep a journal every day or do you write every day or how does that work for you?
No, I do. I sometimes write in a journal, and I do keep paper and pen by my bed so that I can, if I get a thought in the middle of the night, I
That's
can
a
write it
great
down.
idea.
Yes, yes. Um, but otherwise, I don't. I'm not like thorough about that or anything.
Yeah, I started writing every day, but instead of trying to come up with something out of whole cloth, I'll just write about what I did the day before.
Sure.
Of course, at my
Well,
age, now I'm at my age, I'm thinking, what did I do yesterday?
what did I do? Yeah, yeah, yeah. That can be hard.
What did I do 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I had a diary when I was a little girl, and my mother told me to write down the best thing that happened today. So every day I'd write the best thing that happened today was, and
Oh,
then
that's
I'd
a
write
great
some.
idea. Do you still
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
that diary?
No, I wish I had kept it, but I don't.
Oh, yeah. It's funny because after my mom passed away, I found a whole bunch of her. She would write down kind of a journal every day of what she did.
Wow.
I had no idea. And so I started reading some of that. It was really fascinating. Of course, near the end of her life, it was more like my blood pressure today was this, this,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
saw Paul today, and very, very brief, not much detail, but that makes for fascinating reading. And I know that sometimes when I'm writing things, I'm hoping that people will understand after I die. They won't misinterpret what I'm saying about them or about things we did. That's
Sure,
always the
sure,
hard part. It's almost like
sure.
burn this when I die, but I know how important it is to see it afterwards.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, you're what have you got next? What projects are you working on now?
Well, I'm working on actually on a family history book. I've published four family history books because I did a lot of genealogy. I traced my family tree. I traced every side of my family. I did my husband's family. I did my son-in-law's family. But so I've been writing a book basically for each grandparent for their family.
Oh,
And right now I'm working on the Peterson family, which is from Sweden. They came from Sweden, and
okay.
my father's father's family. And that's what I'm working on right now.
Yeah, my family came from Sweden as well, and my grandmother wrote down all this kind of stuff. It was so cool because she wrote about these. Like one thing she wrote about was a time that she and her brother and sister got their picture taken at a photo studio or something, and we ran into that picture.
And you
And
got the
so
picture.
now
Yeah, yeah.
now we have the picture and we have the description of what happened. Oh, how she, pulled his hair and all this other stuff. It's fascinating. It's great I don't know why people don't do that more. You ought
Right.
to write a book. Now you're writing family history books for these
Mhm.
various families. Have you written a book? Well, you haven't yet, but maybe you should write a book about how to do that and encourage people to keep family histories alive like that.
Yeah, I've been thinking of at least an article.
Hmm.
I'm a member of the genealogical, let me see, GFO, genealogical something of Oregon, and I'm thinking of writing an article um, for their monthly
Yeah,
newsletter kind of thing.
that'd be a great idea.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, let's see here. Um, Getting back to Dennis for a second, he wrote about lessons he learned during his life in hopes of helping others. I mean, there was a story about how he and a buddy were in a house and it caught fire, and he went home and his dad raced out there thinking that, oh no, my son's been killed in this fire, and turns out, well, that was a moral there, and other things about generosity and things like that. Are there stories that you've written about that are meant to not just make people feel good, but to learn something or to make their lives better?
yeah.
No.
I don't think so. Maybe I should start doing that, but
Or lie and say, "Oh yes, I would like to make mankind much better by writing my poetry." But well, that's good though that you write to fill a need. There's so many people who have creative, things, but they don't, use an outlet to get them out there. So at least you're
right.
doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
Would you mind sharing one of your favorite poems? I bet you wouldn't mind at all. And let's
No,
see
I
if
can
we
do
can
that.
all learn something from it.
Okay. All right. Okay. So this is called a pivotal moment.
Okay.
Yes, I said yes. And like the rain washing away chalk on a sidewalk, all the colors ran. The lines blurred, sounds silenced. All senses in a new dimension. My life ended and began. I gave you my hand.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. How about
Thank
another one then? Let's we've got some time here. Let's hear another one. How about okay, if that
you.
was love, do one about death.
Okay. Okay. I have to find that in here. Okay. So this is called Death Perhaps.
Death perhaps, okay.
Yeah. Death perhaps is a woman taking you in her arms, enveloping you in her softness, wrapping you in her cloak as you sink, sink, sink into oblivion, floating with the stars. Death perhaps is a woman.
You mean it's not the Grim Reaper and the black uh, hood and the with
Yeah, yeah.
the thing, scythe?
That
It's
wasn't
more
my
the
idea
scythe.
there anyway. Right, right,
Well,
right.
that's very good. Well, the two books we're talking about here is the Wit and Wisdom, Spirit Walk, the Wit and Wisdom of Dennis Negley, and Heed the Heart. Both of those are available on Amazon. Are they available elsewhere as well?
No, I think just Amazon on those two.
Okay. What do you hope readers get out of Heed the Heart? What is your main goal for your
Well,
readers?
I think my main theme is that you should trust your heart. You should, go with what you feel, even if it doesn't seem right all the time.
Hmm.
And I think they should get that, and that they should be true to themselves. It's probably the other theme in the book.
It seems like you've lived that out.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good that you've put it down on paper. That's fantastic. Again, Heed the Heart and Spirit Walk, the Wit and Wisdom of Dennis Negley. Wendy, thanks so much for joining us today, and I hope you have a great rest of the day and good luck with the books.
Thank you, Paul.
You bet. And thank you, folks, for spending a few minutes with us on the Global Book Network. I'm Paul Ryden, and we'll see you next time.